I'm on my way to Tual from Saumlaki. The reason is I could not renew the visa there. Not the best weather window to the closest port with immigration office, but the visa rules here left me not much choice, as the office in Saumlaki did not have working biometric scanners. You cannot trust the predictions when it looks like this, and one of the violent storms that hit me even killed my mainsail. Join me as I'm sailing around the world on Be Free, a Bavaria 55 cruiser. Finally ready to go, but it's with mixed feelings in many ways. First of all, the fact I'm leaving this beautiful island behind after almost 1 month, knowing I have barely seen anything. Also being forced to sail north when I wanted to go west. But the worst part is I would never choose this weather window if I had a choice. The predictions are pretty bad, and in this region that's not a joke. Even though my stay in Saumlaki has been short and mostly bad weather, I still take some beautiful memories with me. Again, it's the people I met that have been the highlight.
Hey, please come to Saumlaki.
With my own eyes, I have been seeing why they are famous for being so sweet and friendly. It's not a long sail and only around 200 nautical miles. And even though it looks quite nice here at the moment, I know I'm in for a rough ride. Still, I'm looking forward to see Tual, as I have heard it also is a very nice island and maybe a bit more developed than Saumlaki. The system here with only 1 month plus 1 month is really challenging because Indonesia is big. In perspective, Kupang is 550 nautical miles away, and where I was planning to renew my visa. And this is only halfway to Bali. But after waiting for so long, the only option now is Tual. I was hoping to catch up with a sailing friend from another channel in Bali, but I'm too late for this, and once again proving that sailing and schedule is not compatible. I'm still in the shade of the islands, but I can already see a front system ahead of me. So it was a good idea to go slow from beginning with a third reef in my mainsail. The Genoa is fast and easy to furl in if needed. Even though the boat speed is pretty good, I'm actually sailing quite defensive here. For those of you who followed my adventure from Vanuatu might remember how I explained this region as the petrol station for the cyclones forming in the Torres Strait. And this is what's going on right now. The cyclone forming southeast of me is basically feeding off the weather I'm sailing through. Being east of Timor and south of Ambon during cyclone season is actually not a good place to be. I've made pretty good speed. It's been quite windy. Now I changed my course a little bit to have a better angle. My strategy is based on a combination of weather predictions, ocean currents, and how I read the map. Wind speed and direction will be locally affected by the island contours, so the shortest line would therefore be a very poor decision. Main reason for pointing as high as possible is to be prepared for what I expect will be the situation throughout the day tomorrow, and even positioning myself better for the evening when I expect to be in more challenging waters. I still hope to reach in before it gets dark, but it doesn't look too good at the moment, but at least the most complicated entrance in some sort of daylight. If you're not used to take ocean currents into the equation, Indonesia will teach you this very fast due to tidal waters, and it accelerates between the rocks and reefs. Now I'm even down to more detailed on expected wind, and also here I want to have the margins on my side. I don't want to find myself in a poor position, also in case of a squall, given the unstable weather. It just takes all energy out of here and create a cyclone not that far away from me, but I'm a safe distance here. I have shared a lot on this channel how I read weather and even how I read different predictions. My intentions has never been to brag about it, but more to share my fascination for weather. And I do mistakes now and then, and this one I expected to be upper 40s, maybe a peak at 50, but man was I wrong. The wall of wind that hit me was from 0 to 60 knots in a minute. B3 is a very strong and capable yacht, and this is actually peanuts for her. My old sails, however, is a different story. So my poor mainsail was ripped out of his third reef, and I still don't know how bad it is. This is a serious storm and not a YouTube storm, so there was no time to make selfies with a drone, and even my attempt of making videos ended up with only photos and not video from my GoPro. With a damaged mainsail and still 140 nautical miles to go, I know it's gonna be a hard night and a rough sail. The question now is how crazy ride this is going to be. As it was constantly around 40s, I raised the alarm to 50 knots. I use this tool a lot because it gives me a hint for my next move in what to do. I knew it was going to be a rough sail and had my thoughts about it before I started. Nothing to make any drama about, but it was a hard night, with one front system after the other spiced up with some squalls from another planet. In my mini-series non-stop from Vanuatu to Saumlaki, I explained why I did not believe in the cyclone that both Predict Wind and Windy had in their predictions. The reason was no surrounding energy to feed a cyclone. And the region I'm sailing in right now is where my eyes were on the predictions every day while I was getting closer to the Torres Strait for this exact reason. The challenging part right now is that when there is a cyclone this close and there is energy in the region, the weather predictions are basically useless. So it's sort of same story, only with different values. Predictions said 20 to 30 and I did expect to see 50. However, 60 knots was more than even my worst case scenario. Luckily, B3 not only point well, she even sails pretty fast, even with the Genoa only. And just as expected, strong ocean currents, waves and wind are pushing me hard towards east. So if I had not chosen to point as high as possible already from start, I most likely could added one more day to this sail. I'm pretty sure I would have to beat my way against wind, waves and current. And as the sun is on its way down, I still have some miles to go, but I will be through the most challenging part before it's pitch black. So even this time with unexpected factors, planning ahead has truly paid off. So I made it to Tual and my visa expires tomorrow. And I went to the immigration office here, the foreigner service, and there was no one there. So apparently the immigration office is closed until Monday the 12th, which is a challenge because my visa expires tomorrow. So that means it's weekend between, and hopefully then don't make too much fuss about this on Monday. I heard some horror stories. I have a friend that had to pay 6 million of this local currency because he was in a similar situation. The opening hours here is not so, what do you say, so predictable. Walking down these stairs from immigration in the background, a bit disappointed. But these kids brought my smile back. Hello, how are you doing? As it's only Thursday and I have several days before immigration opens, I can try to see if I can find the supermarket I heard so much about. Hello. I feel a bit like these buildings right now, exhausted from a 36-hour sail and a bit frustrated knowing the immigration gonna cost me lots of money. Broken sails and I can't even find what I'm looking for.
Hello, boss.
Hello, how are you doing?
Let's go.
Very good. Luckily, it's almost impossible to be a bit mellow here. Very friendly people and lots of scooters. This is charming and a bit funny to walk around. But the rumor had it that Tual was a bit more developed and that there is even a modern supermarket here. So I'm definitely not at the right place. I'm not even on the right island. It's on the small island connected with a bridge. And since I don't have a SIM card, Google Maps is not my friend either. Walking around here, being a bit distracted by these amazing buildings, and find it a bit fascinating how they stand out as a contrast to most of the other less maintained and loved buildings here. But even though not everyone speaks English, they really try their best to help me, so it's always a way out here. And I guess I not only stand out as well, but even looked a bit lost as this car pulled over to give me a ride. So I found this car and the father brought his son.
Yeah.
And the son is helping to translate.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
So the fun part here in Indonesia is a lot of these nice young kids, they actually do speak English.
Yes, I know.
You learn it in school?
Yeah.
Yes? This needs better explanation. His father picked me up and somehow I understood that he needed to pick up something or someone. I was like, okay, this can be an interesting adventure. I have no clue what's going on, but the mission was to get his son. The father brought his son.
Yeah.
And the son is helping to translate.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's just what it is, a truly amazing experience. As you can tell from my face and eyes, I'm exhausted. And this beautiful people just shows up. I found a real supermarket. Look at this. What a surprise. This is really good. I need this now. It's not like I don't appreciate markets, and I know this is often the best place to buy vegetables. Also, I like to support small businesses like this, feeding their family with a humble income. However, it's also time consuming and a bit tiring looking around for things, and also right now I want things that should be stored in a fridge and freezer. It's time to go back home to be free, and I have not yet dared to look at my sails. Hello. Hello. Very friendly people. It is really not easy to find place to land your dinghy. However, here I found a nice spot, and people living in the fishing boats around told me it was safe and no one would touch anything. I know this is not the case everywhere in Indonesia, but here in Tual it's totally safe. I just tried to see what I'm facing here, and it's two places that needs reinforcement to be stitched, and then there are two other places that should be pretty easy, straightforward. Have to stitch the lamels. It's the original stitching that probably UV damage, I don't know, but yeah, so I have one here which is the stitching, and it should be pretty straightforward to fix. The next section that's ripped apart is more challenging. It's here. So this is really ripped off, so I need to put some canvas here and to reinforce it somehow. Then I have another place which is here, and as you can see, this is also in the stitching. It's lamels, so it's on two sides, so this should be also pretty easy to fix. The next last challenge is a big challenge, and it's combined. Let me see. So that's the top section. Here you can see also it's lamels, so it's here. So it's partly in the stitching, but also partly in the canvas. So also here I need to reinforce, and then the next challenge is this rope that goes inside. Somehow it's yeah, I don't know, it's like too tight, so I need to maybe open some of the stitches and be able to pull the cord and to make it straight. 60 knots of wind is brutal, and thank God my rigging is in a good condition. My sails, however, is a sad sight. Back in the days, with different financial situation and even in more urban regions, I would laugh about the sails I have right now. But this is the reality and what I have to deal with. Yeah, this is not a 1 hour job and there is no sail loft around here. I think the best way to deal with this is to hand stitch it, actually, because it's several layers, and I can use the old holes, and I have more control if I do it by hand. So yeah, I just have to start. The pleasure of sailing. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. Also thank you for helping me growing this channel by subscribing. And remember to hit that notification bell not to miss my Southeast Asia adventure. A special thanks to all my amazing patrons supporting and helping me following my dreams. I don't know what I would have done without you guys. Much love from me on Be Free.